Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 16th of June 2021. And guys, you can download our application Careers Cloud and the link of this application is given in the description box. You can log in with your email ID after that and you can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of the current affairs which are coming in your exams. So this is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affairs? We are providing you daily current affairs section. In the section, you will receive three type of the current affairs. One is detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three type of the sections. One is detailed current affair of particular week, question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on an application on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and it is the most important section because we are providing four type of PDFs. One is the detailed PDF of the month. Second, question and answer format will be provided to you under this PDF. Next is best 100 current affair, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means 2-liner, 3-liners current affair will be provided to you, and this is to just revise the current affairs very quickly before your exam. But to enhance your performance, we are also providing some smart PDFs known as topic wise PDFs, and we are covering 20 most important topics, and we are providing these topics under single PDF. It means if you want to revise all the current affairs from just single topic, then you have to just pick one PDF and you can revise all the current affairs from single PDF. If you're a banking student, then we will providing you three type of the current affairs. One is detail and the question and answer format of the current affairs only related to banking and economy, and second is the quiz section, which you can attempt on an application on monthly basis. If you want to revise all the past current affairs of 2021, just like 5.5 months current affair from just single PDF, then you have to pick this exam PDF. And we are also providing budget and economic survey. It means detailed budget and economic survey will be provided, but we are also providing expected question and answer which examiner can ask from the budget and economic survey. If you are preparing for your state exam, then we are definitely providing state current affairs, and it will help to enhance your performance in the state exam. And we are covering every state and union territory. So there is no different subscription for all these topics. We are basically providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application from the description box link, and you have to log in with your email ID, and you can click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs. And you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription price is very much low, and if you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, remember, you can contact us on this email ID and this phone number for any type of query. So let's begin today's session, that is 16th of June 2021. But before that, you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel. And guys, remember, you can also join our Telegram group from the description box link. So let's begin with the most important question section, and here is the first question. India has ranked as the dash most charitable country in the world according to the World Giving Index 2021. And guys, this is the most important because you can say India is donating so much money to so many countries and to so many strangers. So that's why India's rank is 14th in the World Giving Index 2021. So guys, you can see this picture. India emerged as 14th most charitable country in the world under the World Giving Index 2021 report. And total countries ranked under this indexes are 114 countries. And basically, this World Giving Index is a global survey. It interviews people and asks them of each three questions. Have they helped a stranger, give some money, or volunteered for a good cause over the past month? So these three questions asked basically to the people so that they can survey all over globe, and total countries which are surveyed under 114. And you can see here the World Giving Index 2021 report is released by Charities Aid Foundation. Charities Aid Foundation, and the top country who topped under this index is Indonesia. So guys, you can remember the top country is Indonesia, and second rank goes to Kenya, and third is Nigeria. And the World Giving Index 2020 based on the year 2020 and highlights the impact of lockdowns on charitable givings. And you can remember India is now placed in the top 20 generous countries in the world. of 20 generous countries in the world, up from the 10-year global rank of 82. Earlier India's rank was 82, but now it is 14th rank. And score for India improved rapidly between 2017 to 19, and this improvement was maintained in 2020. And according to some data of Indians, like 61% of Indians help strangers. So this is a good thing. 61% Indians help stranger, and Indians are known for their generosity. So that's why 36% or the 34% donated money, and even 34% volunteered for a good cause over the past month. And communities around the world mobilized to help fellow citizens during the pandemic, which resulted in the highest helped a stranger figures since 2009. And more than 55% of the world adults helped someone they did not know in 2020. This is a good thing. This is a good sign of the society. And lowest ranked countries are like Belgium, Portugal, and Japan. Like Japan rank is 114th, because total countries ranked 114th. So you can remember this rank is published by or prepared by which organization? This rank is basically prepared by Charities Aid Foundation. This is a United Kingdom or London based organization, and that country topped is Indonesia, and India's rank is 14th. So you can remember these things. Now we can move to the second most important question. Here is the question: what will be the name of the probe or the mission which will be launched by European Space Agency to study Venus? So guys, this is very important, because recently NASA announced some missions for the study of Venus. Now European Space Agency announced a mission which will be sent in 2030, and the name of this mission is EnVision. So remember, EnVision. And the NASA's mission name is the Veritas and the Vinci Plus. So you can see here, European Space Agency EnVision mission to Venus. So now the question arises that European Space Agency is sending this mission to Venus. Why? So it is to basically study the planet's atmosphere and surface, and monitor trace gases in the atmosphere and analyze its surface composition. So it is basically for the surface composition and the monitor trace gases in the atmosphere. And it will be launched probably in 2030. And the spacecraft will take about 15 months to reach Venus, and will take 16 more months to achieve orbit circularization. So this mission will definitely provide a holistic view of Venus from its inner core to the upper atmosphere, and it will determine how and why Venus and the Earth evolved so differently while being in the habitable zone to the Sun. So this is the main question, and it will be answered after this mission. And guys, you can also remember that European Space Agency led mission to Venus called Venus Express was launched in 2005 to 2014. This was the time period of the Venus Express, and this mission was focused on the atmospheric research and pointed to the volcanic hotspot in the Venus planet surface. So this was European Space Agency who already launched one mission on the Venus, that is Venus Express. Next is Japan. Akatsuki spacecraft has also been studying the Venus planet atmosphere since 2015, and we already covered two options like Veritas and the Vinci was recently announced by NASA, and these are the two missions to the planet Venus. So you can also remember this. And what is the abbreviation of this Veritas and the Vinci? You can remember if you want, otherwise it is not so much important. The Vinci Plus basically stands for deep atmosphere Venus, and investigation of noble gases, chemistry and imaging. I am repeating myself: deep atmosphere Venus, investigation of noble gases, chemistry and imaging. Veritas stands for Venus emissivity, radio science, INSAR, topography and spectroscopy. So these abbreviations cannot be asked by the examiner. You have to just remember the names of these missions which will be announced by NASA, and the name of mission to Venus which is announced by the European Space Agency. Now we can move to the next question, and we covered all the most important questions because there are only two most important questions. Now we are moving to the very important question section, and you have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel. And guys, you can join our Telegram group from the description box. And the students who are watching this video, please like this video. Now here is the first question in the important section: who is appointed as the honorary member of the World Health Organization body? So if you don't know the answer, then we can eliminate the options very simply. Like Gunjan Shah, he was recently appointed as CEO of Bata India. He was recently appointed as CEO of Bata India. Padam Kumar Nair, he was recently appointed as the chairman of National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. So remember, NARCL. And this body was recently created by the RBI. Ujjwala Singhania, again very important appointment because she was recently appointed as 38th National President of FLO Fickies Ladies Organization. So you can remember she was recently appointed. So it means A cannot be the answer, B cannot be the answer, C cannot be the answer. Answer of this question is Mukesh Sharma. So guys, you have to remember IIT Kanpur Professor Mukesh Sharma appointed as honorary member of the WHO body, and he became the member of the Global Air Pollution and Health Technical Advisor Group of World Health Organization. And Mukesh Sharma is an air quality expert with the Civil Engineering Department at IIT Kanpur, and his appointment is made by the Director General of World Health Organization, that is Dr. Tedros, and he will be part of the interventions and policies for air pollution control in 194 member countries, or you can the states of the World Health Organization. So you have to just remember the name of this person. You can remember the question as in slide, as same as in the slide. So this is very important. Moving to next question. Which bank joined with Precto? Precto is basically a healthcare company to provide Precto's corporate health and wellness plans to the bank employees. So very simple question that this company which named as the Precto, this is a healthcare company, and this company want to sell their corporate health and wellness plan to the customers of this bank, and or you can say the employees of this bank, not the customers, employees of this bank. So answer of this question is Indian Bank. Even these plans are basically open for the existing and the former employees of the Indian Bank and even their family members during the COVID-19. You can see here the health plans include 24/7 access to online consultations, and it is with the verified doctors across more than 23 specialties, preventive health checkups to meet pharmaceutical needs and general healthcare sessions. And this welfare measure will benefit around 74,000 present and the retired staff members. So because it is for the existing and the former employees of the Indian Bank, so that's why it will benefit 74,000 present and the retired staff members of the bank, and it is the first of its kind initiative of the bank. So you have to just remember the name of the bank, that is Indian Bank. And guys, remember Indian Bank was established in 1907. Its MD and CEO is Padamja. MD and CEO is Padamja Chundru. Headquarters in Chennai, and the tagline is your own bank. Your own bank. And you can also remember that recently Indian Bank partnered with the FISDM to offer wealth management solutions, or you can say Indian Bank, the 7th largest public sector bank, partnered with the FISDM. FISDM is a digital wealth management company to offer its customers comprehensive wealth management products and the services. This was also the Indian Bank, and we covered this question like recently, and you can remember this question very easily. Now we can move to the next question. Which company has got approval from the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, which is a regulator authority of the insurance sector, to function as an insurance broker? So this is very important question because one company has got the insurance broker license from the IRDA, that is regulating authority of insurance sector, and this organization is Policybazaar. So guys, you can see here Policybazaar gets insurance broking license from the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. And you can also remember the Policybazaar will undertake business including insurance aggregation under the broking umbrella, and it will surrender its web aggregator license to Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. Now what will they do? The broking license will allow the company to enter into the segments like claims assistance, offline services, and the established points of the presence network. And I think all the students know that Policybazaar is one of the largest online distributors of health, motor, and the term life insurance. And the group has other financial technological brands like Paisabazaar, or you can say the insurance marketplace in the UAE region. So this is very famous, and Policybazaar has a market share of 25% in the life insurance segment and 10% in the health insurance sector. So you can also remember that now this company got the insurance broker license from the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. And you can also remember about the Policybazaar CEO and the co-founder is Jashish Dahiya. He is currently the CEO of this company. Headquarters is in Gurugram or Gurgaon, Haryana. But you have to remember about this Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. This was established in 1999 to manage the insurance sector, especially after the privatization of the insurance sector. Headquarters is in Hyderabad, and chairperson is Subhash Chandra Khuntia, SCK. You can remember. Moving to next question. Which institute developed a device named Jeevan Vayu? So this is the keyword for you, Jeevan Vayu. India's first continuous positive airway pressure device. First of all, you should know what is this CPAP device, or you can say continuous positive airway pressure device. Guys, remember CPPA or CPAP is a method of treatment for patients with breathing difficulties during sleep, and it is to enable easy breathing. The machines use mild air pressure to keep the airway open, and the treatment is essential during the early stages of the COVID-19 infection, and the method reduces lung damage and allows the patient to recover from the inflammatory effects. This is a CPAP device. Now, India's first continuous positive airway pressure device, which is known as Jeevan Vaju, it is basically developed by IIT Ropar. IIT Ropar is in which state? It is in Punjab. So guys, remember, IIT Ropar developed a device named Jeevan Vaju, India's first continuous positive airway pressure device that can function without electricity. And you can see this is the device, and this is developed by IIT Ropar, and it named as Jeevan Vaju. And you can see here it functions without electricity, and this device has an inbuilt viral filter of 99.99% viral efficacy at the air entertainment end. And especially this viral filter ensures that the air does not bring it any pathogens from the environment. If it means if air is going inside from this area, then all the pathogens are filtered out here, and you can receive the clean air from the other side. So this is the basically device, and so since the device can run without power, it can be used to safely transport a patient, especially for the transportation of any, you can say, in the emergency like of the situation of the patient. And Jeevan Vaju is adapted of both kinds of oxygen generation units like O2 cylinders and the oxygen pipelines in hospitals, and these facilities were not available in the existing CPAP machine. And this is a leak-proof, low-cost device designed for a 22 mm CPAP closed circuit tube. You don't have to remember this much of information. You have to remember what is CPAP. It is a method of treatment for the patients with breathing difficulties during the sleep, and it enables easy breathing. The machines use mild air pressure to keep the airway open. Now, this is an offline device. You can say it is not using any electricity, so it is developed by IIT Ropar. So this is the important thing. Now we can move to the next question. Which state launched accelerator program for artificial intelligence startups, which is known as RevUp? So the main keyword of this question is RevUp, and it is an artificial startup policy, and it is started by state of Telangana, and this policy is known as TAIM. T stands for Telangana, AIM stands for Artificial Intelligence Mission. So it means Telangana's Artificial Intelligence Mission launched an accelerator program named RevUp to empower artificial intelligence startups. And you can see here Telangana AI mission, that is Artificial Intelligence Mission, launched RevUp accelerator program for the artificial intelligence startups. And you can see here this mission was launched by Telangana government as a part of 2020 year of artificial intelligence initiative, along with the IT industry body, the National Association of Software and Service Company, which is also known as NASSCOM, because NASSCOM will execute the strategy of this artificial intelligence mission to promote innovative and impactful artificial intelligence solution. And the first edition of this program will be started in July 2021. You can see here July 2021, and it will provide the opportunity for the startups to solve the business problems in collaboration with the government and the industry, and it will provide the opportunity to all the startups to solve all the business problems in the collaboration with the government and the industry. And the selected startups will be provided with mentorship, or you can say the industry experts and technology, and to support build a business around their artificial intelligence based product. Because you have to remember, Telangana was the first state in India to launch an actionable policy framework for the artificial intelligence in June 2020 to work towards the artificial intelligence startup. So you have to remember the state is Telangana, and you can remember here the organization, that is NASSCOM. NASSCOM was established in 1988, and its headquarters is in New Delhi. President is Debjani Ghosh. He is currently the president of NASSCOM. And guys, you can also remember Telangana's governor is Tamilizai Sondre Ranjan. She is also the governor of Pondicherry, additional charge of the Pondicherry. You can also remember Chief Minister is K. Chandrasekhar Rao. And you can remember very important two national parks. One is Mahavir Harina National Park, Mahavir Harina Vansthali National Park. Second is Mrugavni National Park. There is also the largest tiger reserve in India is situated in the Telangana, that is Nagarjun Sagar Seri Salam Tiger Reserve. Remember, Nagarjun Sagar Seri Salam National, or you can say the Tiger Reserve. This is the largest Tiger Reserve in India. And even Amrabad Tiger Reserve, this is the second largest Tiger Reserve in India, also situated in the Telangana. So remember these Tiger Reserves because these are very, very important. Now we can move to next question. Who collaborated with MoEngage to drive digital banking experiences? So guys, this time we are talking about one of the small finance bank, because all the options are basically suggesting that the small finance bank has collaborated with the MoEngage. MoEngage is a customer engagement platform to drive digital banking experiences in the unserved and the underserved regions of the country. And this small finance bank is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. You can see here Ujjivan Small Finance Bank collaborates with the MoEngage, and it is a digital drive banking experiences in the unserved and the underserved regions of the country. And you can see here under the tie-up along with the MoEngage, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank targets SMS campaigns to encourage digital repayments. It means they will create a awareness about the digital services which are offered by the bank, so that maximum to maximum customers can use the digital service and can pay their installments and can pay any type of the cash deposit through their digital transactions. And you can also remember the customers are enabled with the option to make payments either digitally or through the cash deposit. So MoEngage will drive the campaign in 12 different regional languages and will educate customers on an online bill payments. And Ujjivan Small Finance Bank created a comprehensive digital infrastructure through payment integrations with Bharat Bill Payment System aggregators and telecom operators to provide digital payment options to overcome the door-to-door EMI collections under the COVID-19. So guys, remember MoEngage is basically providing the services, or you can say they are awareing the customer to use the digital banking for the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So this is the important thing you have to remember. And for the digital payments, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank already tied up with the Bharat Bill Payment System, so that maximum to maximum digital transactions can be done through the payment system aggregators and the telecom operators. And they are also collecting the door-to-door EMI collection under the COVID-19. So remember these things, these are very important. But you can also remember about the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. It was established in 2017 and set up by the name of the Ujjivan Financial Services Limited. Headquarters is in Bengaluru, Karnataka. MD and CEO is Nitin Chugh. Tagline is build a better life. Build a better life. So you can remember this also. Moving to next question. Don't remember about MoEngage, it is not important. Ambuja Cement Foundation joined hands with the whom to skill rural youth. So this time it is a cement company, and they are basically collaborating with one of the very important organization of India to skill rural youth under the Corporate Social Responsibility Agreement. And this organization is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So answer of this question is B. So you can see here Ambuja Cement Foundation and NABARD skill rural youth across nation. And you can see here it is for the implementation of its employability through Skill Initiative Project Phase 2. So its main objective to empower youth with practical skill development training and empower them for a better future. And this Ambuja Cement Foundation received grant assistance from the NABARD under the Gramya Vikas Nidhi. It is a fund created for the development of farm sector activities. And you can also remember Ambuja Cement Foundation intends to provide skill training across 19 Ambuja Cement Foundation locations for a period of 2 years in the 12 trades. It has already reached over the 4,000 youth. And along with the skill training, they are also providing the soft skill and the leadership skills, which are included as a part of the training module. And after the completion of the training, the students will be provided with placement and hand holding sport post placement services. So this is by the Ambuja Cement, and it comes under the corporate social responsibility of the Ambuja Cement Limited. So guys, remember about the NABARD. NABARD, you can say it was established in 1982, and it was established with the efforts of Indira Gandhi, then Prime Minister of India, and it was established by the act of NABARD in 1981, and it was established with the recommendations of V. Sivaraman Committee, you can remember. Chairman is G.R. Chintala. You can remember. Headquarters is in Mumbai. So remember these things. Don't remember about Ambuja Cement. It is not important. Moving to next question. Recently, which state welcomed Agriculture Year through Raja Prabha Festival? And this festival is also known as Mithun Sankranti. And this festival is celebrated by Odisha. So remember, it is to greet the agricultural year through biological symbolism in middle of June. and many programs and events are conducted by the Odisha Tourism Development Corporation to observe the celebration. So remember, the name of the festival is Raja Prabha or Mithuna Sakranti. And you can see here, it is a 3-day long festival which is Raja Prabha, and it begins in Odisha. And it is to greet the agriculture year through biological symbolism in mid-June. And Raja Prabha is dedicated to the Mother Earth, or you can say the Bhuma Devi, and to celebrate womanhood. And you can remember, Bhumi Devi or the Bhuma Devi is a wife of Lord Vishnu. As per the belief, Mother Earth menstruates during the first 3 days. As per the belief, Mother Earth menstruates during the first 3 days and prepares herself for the agricultural activities with the monsoon appearance, because this is the time period of the monsoon. So that's why the first 3 days are basically for the preparedness of the monsoon. And the festival concludes on the 4th day with a custom called Vasumati Sanan, or the bathing of the Bhuma Devi or the Bhumi Devi, which was the wife of the Lord Vishnu. And you can also remember, the second day signifies the beginning of the solar month of the Mithuna, which is also known as the Mithuna Sakranti, celebrated in the Odisha state. And as tradition, cakes, or you can say the pithas, were sold in the Raja Prabha. Therefore, Odisha Tourism Development Corporation launched a special program that is known as Pitha on Wheels, or the cakes on wheels. Under this, the relevant vehicles will be sell different variety of the cakes along with the mass manufactured by the self-help groups. So you can remember these things. These are very little things, but examiner will not ask so many detail, but 2 or 3 things can be asked. Like, one is the name of the festival which is celebrated in the state Odisha. Second, the other name of this festival you can know now, Mithuna Sakranti. Third thing, and the examiner can ask that this is dedicated to which lord or goddess. So this is dedicated to the Mother Earth, which is known as Bhuma or the Bhumi Devi. So remember about Odisha, Chief Minister is Naveen Patnaik, capital is Bhubaneswar, or you can say the temple city of India, and governor is Ganeshi Lal. And guys, you can also remember very important national park in Odisha. One is the Bhitarkanika National Park, and second is Simli-Pal Biosphere Reserve or Simli-Pal National Park. So you have to remember these very important, Simli-Pal Biosphere Reserve. Next, moving to the question, it is from the picture. 2021 Global Wind Day. It is basically celebrated on the 15th of June. So remember this, it is not so much important day, but you can remember with the World Global, or you can say the Global Wind Day. So it is very simple that why this day is celebrated is just to create awareness on the importance of wild energy and its contribution to the energy system. And one another day is basically also celebrated on the 15th June. That is the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It is annually observed across the 15th of June to create awareness about the physical, mental, sexual, financial and the social abuse faced by the elders. And the theme of 2021 is Access to Justice. So this is the theme of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day 2021. Again, this is not so much important to ask in the examination. So now we are moving to the important questions. You have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you can subscribe this channel. And guys, you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And the students who are watching this video, please like this video. Now here is the question: which Indian wrestlers wins gold at Poland Open ranking series? So this is a you can say the static question. You have to remember the name of this player, and name of this player is Fogart. Remember, name of this player is Fogart. Answer is Vinesh Fogart. So she won this gold medal under the 53 kg category, and she won this gold medal in the Poland Open ranking series, and she played the final against the Ukrainian player. And this was the India's second medal at the event after Ravi Kumar Daya won the silver medal in the men's 61 kg category. You can also see here, Ravi Kumar Daya also won the silver medal in the men's category, but in the women's category we won the gold medal. So you have to remember the name of this event and also the players who won the gold and the silver medal from Indian side, because there are only 2 players, so this type of the question can be asked. Now we are moving to the one-liner important points. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated 2 centers of the excellence of the Border Roads Organization. So the first center is known as the Center of Excellence for Road Safety and Awareness, and second is the Center of Excellence for Roads, Bridges, Airfields and the Tunnels. So the main objective of this is to achieve excellence in the road safety and to foster growth in the constructions of roads, airfields, tunnels and the bridges. So you can just remember because it is not so much important. Next, government launched Project O2 for India's to meet the demand of medical oxygen. So very simple question, that Project O2 for India, it is to increase the ability of India to meet the increasing demand of medical oxygen and hospital beds following the second wave of COVID-19, and we can prepare for the third wave of the COVID-19 in advanced phase. And it is an initiative of the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India. So you can remember. Next, Prime Minister Modi ji addresses United Nations high-level dialogue on desertification, land degradation and the drought. And guys, you can remember that he is currently the president of 14th session of the United Nations Conference of Parties of Convention to Combat Desertification, or you can say UNCCD, which is known as United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. So in the last decade alone, around 3 million hectares of the forest cover were added in India, and this has increased the combined forest cover to almost 1/4 of India's total area. So there is a target till the year of 2030 that a restoration of 26 million hectares of degraded land aimed by 2030 to achieve an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. So Center of Excellence will be set up in India to promote scientific approach towards the land degradation issues. This is basically stated by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But you have to remember the organization name, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Our Prime Minister, like Narendra Modi, is currently the president of this meeting. And executive journal, you don't have to remember. Headquarter, you have to remember that UNCCD headquarters is in Bonn, Germany. Next, developing economies energy transition needs USD 1 trillion by 2030. This is International Energy Agency report. In simple word, you can say that the annual clean energy investment in emerging and developing economies need to increase by more than 7 times, from less than USD 150 billion in 2019 to more than 1 trillion by 2030 to put the world on track to reach net zero emission by 2050. Even the G7 countries, like we discussed in the yesterday's question, that in G7 countries also committed to achieve this net zero emission by the year of 2050. India also participated in the G7 because he was invited. Narendra Modi ji was invited by the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Boris Johnson. So this is International Energy Agency report. Indian Energy Agency headquarters in Paris, France. Member countries are 30 member countries. So Italian car maker Ferrari appointed Benedetto Vigna as CEO. So you have to just remember the question, or you can just read this line, or you can write somewhere that this name Benedetto Vigna. My pronunciation can be wrong, but you have to just remember the name. Next, noted Kannada actor Sanchari Vijay passed away. So you have to just remember the name Sanchari Vijay, and he belongs to Kannada film industry, and he was awarded with the National Film Award for the Best Actor in 2015 at the 62nd National Film Award for the Kannada film Nanu Avanla Avalu. So he also received the Karnataka State Film Award for the Best Actor and the Film Fair Critics Award for the Best Actor. So you have to remember two things. One is the name of this Kannada film actor, that is Vijay Kumar, or popularly known as the Sanchari Vijay. And second thing, he belongs to Karnataka because you can remember about the Kannada language. And Kannada language is basically a, you can say, native language of the Karnataka. So remember this. Moving to next, it is our question of the day. It was the 15th of June 2021 question. Question was, know your customer, the KYC guidelines have been issued under which section of the Banking Regulation Act of 1949? So guys, very simple question. This section was related to the section 35A. So answer of this question is A, and KYC guidelines were issued under the section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act of 1949, and these guidelines were issued according to the Act of 2002 by the RBI, and all banks were asked to make all accounts KYC completed by the 31st December 2005. Then it was said in 2002, and banks are also required to periodically update their customers KYC detail. Still this function is going on, and it comes under the section 35A. Next is the question of the day. Question of the day is, which nationalized bank was merged with the Punjab National Bank in 1993? Because you know, banks were nationalized into two phases, like in 1980, and first one is the 1969. In 1969, 14 banks were nationalized, and in 1986, banks were nationalized. So it means at the end of 1980, we have 20 nationalized bank. But at the end of 1993, we merged one bank into the another. So we are basically at the end of 1993 only 90 nationalized bank, and you have to tell me what is the name of this bank which was merged under the Punjab National Bank. So guys, you have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel, and you can join our Telegram group from the description box link, and you can also press bell button so that you can receive the notification on time. And it is my personal promise that if you are watching the videos daily and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDF, then your current affairs section will go strong. Definitely you can subscribe our current affairs from our application downloading link is given in the description box, and you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. And guys, we are also providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Always be happy. Happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys. Take care and bye bye.